Yes, you're welcome, our viewers and listeners. Welcome to yet again another episode of Business Chronicles here at Studio 84. Studio 84 is a podcast space studio, set up here along Lithuli Avenue in Kampala, Uganda. It is a space set up to facilitate individuals and organizations tell their stories and along the opposition themselves as authorities at what they do. Because here at Studio 84, we believe that everyone has a story to tell and they are an authority at something. They are an authority at something. Today, with great pleasure, I have the honor to host a gentleman. I haven't had a gentleman in this seat in a while, but I know you won't regret why you tuned in for this one because he has really, really interesting stuff to share. I've known Herman for a couple of years now. He does his things differently. You're about to find out what I'm talking about, but as usual, I won't spoil it. I'll let him introduce himself, and then we dive into it. Herman. Or should I say Hermie?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Very much appreciated. Herman Musoke is the name.
Yep.
And I'm CEO of Hermie Homes.
Yeah.
We're a property investment company with interior design services.
Yeah.
So we basically do, we create investment opportunities through real estate. And that can be development of condominiums, serviced accommodation, lease options, and we basically translate that into returns on investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Herman speaks a lot of English, but in layman terms, Herman is actually a property guy. And if looks can be deceiving, this would be it, because you see Herman here. Once you find him on an ordinary day in his protective gear on a construction site, he's a whole different animal. Don't let the fancy English fool you. But Hermie, tell me, what's your background? This Business Chronicles. Were you always in property? Did you go to school to study property? Were you raised in a family that deals and operates in property? What's your story?
That's a very interesting one. So, Solomon, I actually studied IT management.
Okay.
I was blessed enough to leave Uganda in my S5.
Yeah.
And go into Sweden, of where I've been living for the last 15 to 17 years. And property was never on the landscape. But however, it was whenever I came back to Kampala.
Yeah.
Property is culture here. Even your judge tells you, you know what, my son, buy a plot.
Wow.
The story, however it is,
Yeah.
you have to just, it's culture here in Uganda.
So hold on, Hermie. I noticed you paused at the 15, 17 years because I think you quickly realized the ladies are doing the math. S5, 15, 17 years. Ah, man, you're busted. But seriously, though, Hermie and I like to mess with you. So you come back here. Property here in Uganda is culture.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, and I know for a fact that you do your property things differently.
That's correct.
And now it makes sense because you bring a bit of your professional qualification in IT into the passion and culture of property here. And how have you married those two, and how does it work? How are you doing it differently?
That's a very fair question. So when me and my wife kept coming back to Uganda,
Yeah.
I had to say my wife, because sorry.
Rita, greetings. We greet you.
No, but I appreciate that question because when we came back, we kept on coming back, and the pain points were the same.
Yeah.
The biggest challenges are still actually ongoing,
Yeah.
and we're trying to figure out Well, if we have the same pain points, and these pain points can be small things such as transparency. You hire a developer and then you actually are begging them to go and take pictures of your property, and then that's
And keep you updated.
and keep you updated, and that's a very big ask, right?
Yes, yes.
Because then
You mean you don't trust them?
exactly, right? Exactly. And the simple things such as we were figuring out this thing, and we realized that Uganda is one place you pay 5-star money and you get a 1-star experience.
Yeah.
And we're like, look, these are all pain points, these are all challenges, but there is opportunity in all this.
Yeah.
So if we have these problems, and many of them I just summarized, then if we build an offering around that, or like a service around that, I'm very sure, or we were very, very sure that many people will join the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you come back with your wife, I have to emphasize. I know you have a very decent property. And when I say decent, it's an understatement. That side of Kampala in Kyanja, I've visited it, Hermie Homes in Kyanja. I also know that you're setting up another facility in Chigo. So what do you do? Do you build to rent out to clients? Do you build to sell? You also know that build to sell in this city has a bit of a reputation. You know, you're in the industry, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes.
So what's your concept around that?
So the concept is in form of buying a managed condominium.
Yeah.
And buying a managed condominium is you can look at a condominium as a home.
Yes.
First and foremost, a personalized condominium home with high test. Or you can look at it in form of an investment.
Yes.
Whereby it gives you returns. Right? So in a nutshell, we build and sell.
Yes.
Right? We build all the way from scratch, and then we sell the finished product. So that's
the mode of business.
That's the mode of business. Now, I just have also to say, the interior design service is an offering we give out, right?
Oh.
But this came aboard whereby we used to develop a lot.
Yeah.
When we developed the property in Kyanja, for example,
Yeah.
Many people would come back and say, "Oh, you designed this. Or you designed this.
Yeah.
How can I get this?
Yeah.
Where can I get that?" And my wife is how can I call it? She's so passionate about interior design, about design in nature.
Yeah.
It doesn't even
Not
even just interior. It's just design.
Yeah.
She'll be late up all night just thinking and talking design or looking out for design. So it kind of fitted in. I know you asked a very simple question.
Yeah.
But giving you a very long answer that we build and sell, but we also focus as well on the interior design part.
And then I realized that all these years you've been taking too much credit for nothing, because
yes,
all along she's the one who does that.
She's the one who
professional and personal.
That's very much correct. Yes.
Hermie, I also mentioned in my question though that build to sell in this city has a bit of a reputation. So why should a person who is buying a Hermie home trust you? Do you have systems in place that will make a potential client or a client already trust that you're building something that's going to last?
Yes. That's a very interesting question as well. It's the wild, wild west market, I have to say. And it's been a learning curve. We've taken a lot also on our shoulders. But however, we improve with time.
Yeah.
And what we've figured out is you have to base on systems.
Yeah.
Now, for a person to come out and say they're investing with us or they're looking to buy a home with us,
Yeah.
we give fully blown transparency.
Yeah.
And that's what builds the trust the most. Because then you are on this journey with us. Well, the good updates, the bad updates, they're all in there. But also you get to see how this small thing turns into something big.
Yeah.
With so many different people.
Yeah.
Right? All contributing to that. Now that transparency,
this dream on paper.
yes, that transparency is what really elevates us to new levels. And that's what we're really, really grateful for.
How does this work? I know you have a whole system application, tracking thing in simple terms.
All right. So task management, a 101.
Hold on. So I come to you, you take me to the site, I look through the brochure or something. I like what I see. I visit Kyanja. I'm like, this finishing is on point.
Yeah.
I give you my money.
Yes.
Take me from there.
All right. Now, that's exactly from there. We onboard you to our task management program. It's called Asana. It's actually anyone can have it, but we customly made templates for it based on our model. And it helps us, but it also helps the client to gain that visibility of the project, not only on the construction level, but also on the documentation level, down to the details. Who is our team? Who are you really? Who are we working with? Right? Who are these people? Because as much as yes, Hermie Homes, it takes a lot of other people in the team as a whole to put up something like that.
Yeah.
So that transparency is really what helps, but it's what. So from there, it means that they get live updates, and they decide their appetite in regards to updates. So if you're a person who loves your updates in pictures, you get your updates in pictures.
Yeah.
Text, formal, you get the same. You're informed of the project milestones, you're informed of the project outcomes, the challenges, everything.
So if I paid for my home, let's say I went back abroad, or I'm just a busy person, I don't have time to come pass by the site all the time. No stories of, we poured the slab, it rained 2 weeks later, it still hasn't dried up, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Not just, I see other people in your industry have improvised, and now they have a CCTV, on site, but CCTV doesn't tell me how many bags of cement I mixed for a concrete column or something like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Herman. So what drove you to spend your time to dive and go in detail to, build and customize this application that much? Is that a really, really serious concern? Were you bitten yourself?
Very good one. Very good one. The thing is, yes, I've been beaten many times, and that's the whole purpose of learning through our mistakes.
Yeah.
But also learning through the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So me taking the time is because I look at this in the long run.
Yeah.
I don't look at it in the short term that I need that quick money and etc. I look at it
in and out. Yeah.
a very, very long run. And I look at it in the form of that we can actually change something. We can move the market, right? But small decisions in construction can derail you as well a lot. So having them documented is always key. Now, in an industry like mine, is that for God, something happened. If something happened to me, or how can I put it? If something happened, it means that we have every little track of the documentation that is about the building. We can actually sell this building to a hotel. We can sell this building to another investor. So I looked into the exit strategy. I always look into the exit strategy, but the exit strategy also became the new norm of how to do business on a different level. Right? Because you give the developer money and you think, okay, if this developer walks out with my money, then what? Right? But this system allows you that whoever is in the system, you can reach out and just talk to them, right? Whether it's the lawyer, whether it's the engineers, it's transparent to that grain, right? So it's not just about Herman, right?
And whether they can trust you or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should also trust the people you're trusting.
Exactly.
And I'm here looking at it on the flip side, Herman. You know how we've had incidents here where properties have gone wrong during construction. God forbid something bad happens on a site, you have a fallback position, not just a black counter book that shows how many bags of cement you bought on what day.
Exactly.
But you have a whole trackable construction progress.
Yes.
And your clients can also see if, there are, unnecessary delays, or God forbid there are delays. They can see that these delays happen because of this, and that. So full transparency, like you're saying.
Exactly.
Herman, earlier you also mentioned to me about how you support either your clients or other property managers and developers with your experience, how you're extending it out. Do you want to speak a bit into that using your system?
So what I normally do, and this is something that I've been pushing out to other business owners, because as a business owner in Uganda, there's a lot of things that keep coming to you. Whether you're a developer, there's a lot of things that keep coming to you. And we have briefcase companies, right? And everything relies or is always in our heads. We don't never take it out. We don't build systems of our own. So this is something I do on the side. I began this out as a thing that I get to know more people, to have a bigger social capital, because I do know what we have is gold.
That you're bringing value to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So more like sharing.
Yeah.
Right? What can this actually help you? How can this app help you? So that's something that we've been doing for quite a while. I have been doing it for quite a while. Helping to share that knowledge and talking about it, because talking is what also creates awareness.
Yeah.
Because you have this business, but if you go away, then what? How will it be run? Right? What systems have you put in place? So that's how I see it, and that's how I try to push to others. Because now, the people we work with, whether it's our contractors, whether it's our lawyers, whether it's everyone we work within that app. Right?
Wow.
So it helps us to track basically everything.
Yes.
But it also helps us to be data driven.
Yes.
Right? To make decisions based on actual data and not
that's traceable.
Yes. Exactly.
You make it sound so easy, but I know it's not.
No, it's never easy. Nothing. I mean, my context of life has been it's easy it's always I've lost the words for it right now. But the thing is, it's never easy. But progress is happiness. Progress is success.
Yeah.
Now, however hard it gets, is that you try to make the progress. You try to make a small gain, even however small it is. You make that small gain. So yes, it's not been easy to build this system up, and me coming here and saying that it's easy, it would be a lie. But however, me having learned from the mistakes that I have, it means that you don't have to go through them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I give you a roadmap of how to do things.
Yeah.
But what's the alternative?
Hold on. Specifically speaking, Hermie, I think we love IT, we love AI, we love all these tools that make our lives easier as entrepreneurs. But one of the biggest bottlenecks to actually embracing them and using them consistently is that our teams let us down most of the time. For example,
That's correct.
you use that tool for maintenance of the properties. Your housekeeping people use it. Everyone inputs for it to work effectively and serve the purpose.
That's correct.
Typically, where we come from, the people that you use at that level of service are not very literate. They've not used systems and computers and all that before.
That's correct. Yeah.
How have you navigated that?
That's always a tough one to crack. But I believe we were talking at some point with you, and you talked about Safe Border.
Yeah.
Right? How Safe Border got Uganda shaken up, right?
Yeah.
That everyone is actually using Safe Border.
Yeah,
right?
Because you'd think typically a border guy is, a low-level guy who doesn't know much, but here they are operating on an...
Right? So, and Safe Border, just like maybe Uber or any other company, they invested a lot of time into adoption.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because adoption matters.
Yeah.
Many people just try out something and then they move on to something new, right? Something more shiny, something more, they think
easier.
It's shinier, right? And
Yeah.
they think it's easier until they go there and they be like, oh,
Yeah.
right? But understanding to be able to be flexible, that, okay, I'm going to try this thing out, but I'm also going to build a big, strong adoption to my team. Now, has to start with me.
Yeah.
If I don't know it, then how do you expect my next team member to know it, to understand it? Because when they have when they need the help, it's me they're going to turn to, right? So it's very key that I learn the tool first and I understand it very well. And then I focus on adoption. Now, people learn in different ways.
Yes.
Right? There are people who prefer, get something, a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Some love the in-person training. Some love I'll read about it. But however, we give that freedom when the person comes into our space to first learn, and then it becomes mandatory after a while, right? But you don't know that it's going to be mandatory, and after a while, yeah.
At first, it's a good to have, and
yes,
all that. And
they get to test it.
Of course, you exercise a lot of patience.
That's true. Yeah.
But Hermie, you're at a level where this thing is now mandatory in your establishment, where everyone who you sign up to work at Hermie Homes knows that it's part of the culture.
Yeah. My team always listen to me saying asana, asana, asana. Everyone talks about asana.
It's like that corridor joke.
Yes, yes, and I'm very sure they make a lot of jokes about me about this too.
And your obsession with it too.
Yes, yes. But the thing is, they also appreciate that the instructions are given and they're very clear. If I say A, then it's not B, it's not C, it's not D.
And also the accountability on both ends.
Yes.
I restocked the bathrooms, and here is the evidence.
Thank
So
you.
it's not your word against mine anymore.
No,
Yeah.
no. That's the beauty about it. Because then me who's assigning you the task gets to know when the acceptance criteria of the task being done, the definition of, I set the definition of done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the other person has clear instructions of what to actually do, right? And can set this as well, as you said, evidence. And the biggest problem we have as business owners is so much is in our heads. Again, I'm going back to that.
I was coming to
Yeah.
that, Ivan. I was saying, I mean, what's wrong
Yeah.
with my housekeeper, for example, restocking the bathrooms, taking a picture and sending it to me on WhatsApp? It's working well. I mean,
You know what? It's
before the
working
guest
and-
walks in, I take a picture of the Yaka meter, the units are there, and so on. It works until it doesn't.
It works until you're looking for accountability for that. If you got a problem
Yeah.
and you're looking for a message someone sent,
Yeah.
and you look going through voice message, did they send it a voice message? Did they send a text?
Was it a document?
was it a document?
Picture?
Was-
Was it? Yeah.
No. Good luck with that.
And that's you in your phone, let's say.
Yeah.
But also,
Exactly.
this is one apartment or two or three. Wait
Yeah,
until
then
they
it
are what,
becomes-
50 or 100,
Exactly,
and you're dealing with
exactly.
hundreds of
Yeah.
housekeepers.
Yeah. So now you're looking at it on property management, but when we use it on the development aspect, there's a lot of controls that have to be made.
A lot, yeah.
Right? Concrete testing.
Also, with many other eyes on
Yes.
the progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Accountability that an engineer has come to the site and he has comments, right? Now, accountability that everyone else is into those comments.
Yeah.
Now, the contractor then has that accountability to follow what the engineer said.
Yeah.
Now, on WhatsApp,
I know.
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to track everything on WhatsApp?
No.
So we use WhatsApp for urgent
Yeah.
messages.
But also that have to be backed up the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hermie, thank you very much. It's been really amazing. I mean, you can't exhaust this conversation. We could go deep in the detail of how this works and so on. But I am inspired and impressed at how, especially on how patient you have been. I don't know. I mean, Herman, if 5 years ago someone told you it would take you this long to perfect, would you even start?
I would say every experience I've met,
Yeah.
loved it, and it's pushed me to where I am right now. So I would definitely
Wow.
do it over again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our viewers and listeners, Herman Musoke from Hermie Homes. It's been very good to have you, Herman. I hope I get to, I'm sure I'll show my viewers especially some, a bit of what we are talking about and how it works, and a bit of Lofty Skies and Hermie Homes in Kyanja. Very decent properties. Who are you looking at? I asked you earlier who your current typical client is, or who your target market is for this product.
Thank you again for asking. So, our target market is people who are either very busy,
Yeah.
they have maybe a business, maybe they're employed somewhere else, right? And they're looking to find a property, personalized. We have, let me put it this way, we sell hotel living for the everyday person. right? Hotel living or hotel experience for the everyday person.
I was about to pull out a Pinterest line.
Yes, Pinterest living. So, who loves the Pinterest living? A lot of people who are very busy in their lives,
Yeah.
right? Or people who are not here in the diaspora,
Yeah.
right? They love to come back to a place whereby they can crash,
Feels like
right?
the diaspora.
And it feels, no, it's not just the diaspora.
Okay,
actually.
like back home, but with better weather and ambience and
Yes.
everything.
Because it's also for people here who have a lot of
Yeah.
work, right? But they're not up to the job of looking for that contractor. They're not up to the job of doing a lot of hands-on work, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking for those who are busy in diaspora, those also who are can afford, of course, the service because it's a hotel experience service.
Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it, Hermie.
No, the thing is, it's so funny when I say this because, but Solomon, that's another conversation for another day. So we're looking out for people who are and most
Busy,
especially
they appreciate quality.
appreciate quality. And actually, our target market from the very beginning,
Yeah.
and it still is, was ladies
Okay.
between the ages of 25 all the way to 55,
Wow.
and have at least traveled outside Kampala,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Have worked in corporate or working in corporate. And the reason, there's a back reason around this, right? The biggest reason is because these ladies know the value of time
Yeah.
in relationship to money,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
They're not the same people who are going to look for an electrician. Why not a man? Because
Hey,
a guy would come to a site and be like, "Oh, I can do this.
I know a guy who can
I
do
know
it
a guy.
cheaper.
He can do it cheaper." And believe me, women, we try and yes, we try,
Okay.
but we never
I get
pull it off.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I see you have really plotted out your, of course, with a lot of experience, you've plotted out your typical client.
Yes.
Very important. Thank you, Herman.
I appreciate that, but I will not get off this podcast without sending shout outs.
Oh, shout outs you did.
Yeah, otherwise I will sleep on the couch. Eh? So I just want to have a big shout out to my wife,
Yeah.
who has also made this possible
Yeah.
because she's the brains
Mm.
focused on the designs that we do.
Mm.
So it's not a one-man show.
Yeah.
It's not even a two-man show.
Mm.
Our people who work with us diligently, our engineers, I can go on and on and on, but there's so many architects, engineers, the people that are in this company have all expressed and given their all to do what we do possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I've had the privilege of meeting your wife, and I could tell how passionate she was at design. And I can say this, and how she hesitates to trust it with you, that she'll come and want to explain the design herself. That she'll come and want to explain the design herself. I think you guys make a very good team.
No, we do.
She's very big on design. You're very good on IT and systems and whatever and all that other stuff. There's this question they ask couples who work together a lot, maybe on the other podcast, because that may need another podcast itself. How is it working with your wife? Coming up next on Business Chronicles, maybe one day the Musokes will tell us
Yes.
the pros and cons of working with your spouse. But reader greetings. I really, really admire what you're doing at Hermie Homes, and your work is definitely not underrated in any way. So, Hermie, thank you.
Pleasure's been mine.
Yeah, our viewers and listeners, until the next episode of Business Chronicles, I'm Solomon Tumwesigye, and I will catch you on the next episode.